So that piece of work that I shared on the TGG was just looking at specific teams in I think the Belgian league at the time, and looking how some of them were constructed and how they were able to do that.
Yeah,
But you've got, you're putting down a block of money to go and win. How much of that money is getting on the pitch? So one of the clubs I worked for, when we first arrived, they were running about 25% utilization of their annual cost. So you take all the salaries and the annual player costs, the amortization of their transfer fees, you bundle it all into a pot and say, right, we're spending 100 million on this group of players. They were deploying about 20 and they were essentially burning 80.
So when you say that, is that injured players, players that didn't play like, is that what you mean by that?
Exactly. Yeah, they'd spend a lot of money on guys who couldn't get on the pitch because they weren't good enough.
Yeah.
Couldn't get on the pitch because they weren't available. They were injured. They were unfit or not in the right condition. Squad was too big.
Yeah.
All these factors. So about 80% of their total spend, that firepower was allocated towards redundancy, and 20% was actually on the pitch.
Yeah.
By the time we left it, we'd flipped that ratio around to about 45%. 45% is about average in the Premier League, I think, because Premier League teams will play in multiple competitions. They need quite a lot of redundancy, especially with European campaigns as well. But like a club like Burnley, for example, certainly under the previous ownership, they ran it so tight. Burnley would run at something like 55 or even 60% utilisation in the Premier League, which is unheard of. Very, very high. If you go to MLS is completely different. MLS 60 would be poor. And the MLS clubs have really high utilisation of their payrolls and their cost base. So the football culture in Europe is different. But if you think of it in terms of just this is what you're deploying as a business to go and fund the ability to win, how much of that is actually hitting the road?
Yeah.
That's what the utilisation concept was all about.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. That's really interesting. So, and I've never heard it when you described it as like almost like a stock portfolio as well. That was quite interesting in terms of how you balance the squad and you build it up. So, is there any teams, maybe you can't answer, I don't know, but any teams like currently now, Lee, that you feel like are very good at that?